Hello, you wrong'un.
Hello, world. I've taken one for the team today.
3 hours.
That I'll never get back. Yes, I decided to watch the Netflix global event.
Harry and Meghan, the love story.
So, should we get straight down to it? Because I'm not happy. No. The pair of them. Calling the tabloids racist, the country's racist, and the royal family's racist. So everybody in the United Kingdom, Great Britain and England, England, racist, mate, racist. So let's get straight down to it, said a man once. Henry Charles Albert David, commonly known as Prince Harry. Howie. Who is he? He's Prince Henry Charles Albert David. He's H, the cat. Charles Albert David. H, the cat. Who is he? Well, I think it's commonly known in some circles that he's wanting to have his own royal court in America. He wants his own royal court. He wants to be not the spare, not even the heir. He wants to be a monarch. I mean, Henry Charles Albert David, what? He just wants a royal court in America. It's blatant what he's doing. Royal family, oh, we'll destroy that. That's easy. I'm a prince, me. I'm a prince. I can be the Prince of Bel, California. Who else is he? Well, he's definitely not a golfer. As old golfers know. Because I'm going to tell you a story about him swinging a club. I doubt it was a 1-iron, because not even God can hit a 1-iron properly. Can you not remember when Henry, Charles, Albert, George tried to kill William? To use the vernacular in the Northeast, he brained Prince William with a golf club. To wit, Prince William had to be blue light at the hospital because they thought it was going to leave him permanently damaged. There was a lot of worry in royal circles when this happened. Young Henry absolutely bludgeoned Prince William with a golf club. So that indicates to me, in my view, there may have been a certain element of jealousy there because he's the spare. He's a nobody. Look what happened to Margaret. She had a rare old time, but she was always the spare, as is Howie. And you know where Harry comes from, don't you? No, stop that. I didn't say that to make it into a gag. We definitely will get thrown off YouTube for that. Harry comes from the French, Henri. During medieval period, the English version is Harry of Henri. And you know that the French language is a language of the nobles, don't you? Always has been. So, to the 3 episodes that were released today by Netflix. There's another 3 next Thursday. They've timed that perfectly for when Catherine has her carol service. Wonder who decided that? Meghan. So the 3 episodes today. It's the same old, tired old narrative. Tabloids are racist. Britain's racist. The royal family's racist. Meghan is Diana reincarnate. Now, I'm not an expert on reincarnation, but I think one has to die before the other one is born. Meghan was alive when Diana was killed. Some say murdered. So she can't be Diana reincarnate. And Harry, I mean, look, I can feel his pain being a ginge. But he needs to do something with that bonce of his. Because you'll see all the way through, there are different stages of Weetabix on his head. Or is it shredded wheat? I think shredded wheat's a probably more apt description. look, he needs to just go full on, shave it off, man. Get rid of it. Instead of people looking at you going, oh, he's a bit vain. Wants to keep his hair. I mean, at one point, 30, 40 years ago, it used to be known as the Bobby Charlton comb-over, where bald men along the centre were growing the hair long at the side and then combing it over to cover it up. Howie, it's either a hairpiece or a weave or a gerbil. I think the gerbil might have died, though. Or shredded wheat. Either way, it doesn't look right, mate. It looks like you're vain. Or you could go to Turkey and get one of those hair implant operation things. So, let's get to the 3 episodes. I mean, imagine having a dead gerbil on your head. The messages that come from the 3 episodes, I'll go through them, and I'm trying not to... Look, if you want to watch the 3 episodes on Netflix before you want to watch this video, please go and do that, because I don't want to spoil it for you, but I'm trying to not give too much detail in here. I'm going to give you my takeaways, what I believe the messages are in the 3 episodes. So, if you listen to the theme, it sounds a bit like The Crown. It's got the same sort of feel to it. It's not exactly the same, but in my view, it sounds like the theme tune to The Crown. Have a listen. Oh, sorry, not The Crown, the other one. So, firstly, Harry says, Meghan is the same as my mum. No, she's not. I mean, I get that you are your mum's son and you may have a little more insight than myself or anybody else that's looking in rather than looking out. But no, Diana had a warmth about her. Diana she attracted people. She didn't repel them. So can you see that narrative? Harry's straight in there saying, oh, she's like me mum. She's like me mum. Do you think that Rachel Meghan Markle is like his mum? Her Royal Highness, Princess Diana. And then he goes straight in. So episode one is pretty much him giving his opinion and giving you the evidence for what they're about to kick in episode 2 and 3. And he said, oh, the paparazzi, it's like hunter versus prey. Right? And he goes on to say, there's car chasers and my drivers have anti-surveillance driving abilities and we go out in disguises. So did Diana, so did Fergie, so have evidently some of the royals previously. So he's not unique, and neither is Rachel Meghan Markle, that cable TV actress. She's not a star. She's a cable TV actress. Paparazzi, hunter versus prey. Let's see the evidence, Bonnie lad. Let's see the evidence. Now, you've got a load of people around you. A lot of people around you. Everybody's got a mobile phone. Everybody's got a camera. And we have done since 2008. It's called an iPhone. So come on. Show us the evidence. We've already seen in one of the promos for the series that they've used pictures that didn't even involve Howie and Meghan, Rachel, Meghan, Henry, Charles, Albert, David. To give him his full title. Mind you, to give him his full title, I'll be here all day. And then he gets on to, the UK media are to blame. That's the message, that's the takeaway. The UK, the British tabloids are to blame. Well, take a bit of responsibility for your own actions. Have you left or have you stayed? Are you living in America? Even your dad wishes you well when he became king. One of his first jobs was to wish you well in your new life abroad. So have you gone? Or are you staying? Make your mind up, pick a lane. And then they start dropping the R-bomb. Race, race, race. This is all about race and racism. And he's sitting in a nice pile in America, if he is, whether it be rented or bought, He's calling his own family, his own country, his own people racist. No. So Doria, she's in there. She's appeared. No, she's not in jail. I think she was in jail a few years ago, but she appears in this. Hello, Doria. Nice of you to pop your head up above the parapet after 4 years. And then it comes straight out of his mouth. Just like Diana. Just like my mum. And he reckons that Rachel Meghan Markle, has been treated unfairly. Well, I'm old enough to remember quite a few things. I was working in the Harrods organisation when Diana used to come visit. And you and I know that Rachel Meghan Markle isn't unique. You and I know Diana had it tight. Catherine had it tight. Fergie had it tight. Camilla's had it tight. And Sophie Wessex, had a torrid time when she joined the royal family. Not just Rachel Meghan. They've all had it tight. Now, let's just go to the credibility. Credibility of Netflix. Credibility of Rachel Meghan. Howie. You might not know the name, but it's Garrett Bradley. Garrett Bradley is an Oscar-nominated director. And Garrett Bradley was the original director of this series and had a falling out. Because Garrett Bradley wanted it filmed in their home. But that's like a fly on the wall, which means that Rachel, Meghan Markle, wouldn't have control. So they had a falling out over creative differences. And Garrett Bradley left the project. So let's look at further credibility. Because we know that there's mistakes in some of the promos. And we know when these 3 episodes are going to be picked apart by others. The royal family will obviously want deniability, so they'll say that they didn't watch it. And some of their aides will say, no, we didn't watch it. But you know somebody has on their behalf, absolutely. And you know Prince William is going to be apoplectic with rage, but won't show it. Do you want me to tell you why I think that? Because Prince William has gone on record, that there should be no more showing of the Panorama interview in whole or in part ever again. So what does Harry do? He shows Diana's interview with Martin Bashir in the Panorama episode. Harry, man, you're supposed to be on our side. You're supposed to stand shoulder to shoulder with your brother in your mother's name. And what do? So, Rachel Meghan, you know that one that lies to court? Well, let me quantify that. Forgets. So remember when the Mail had her in court and said, no, I never asked any aide to pass on information to the authors of Finding Freedom. And then Jason North went into court and said, oh yeah, we had meetings, we had briefings, everything. Duchess of Sussex knew all along. So she then had to go to court and go, no, I didn't lie. No, I didn't lie. I didn't mean to mislead the court. I forgot. I know what I think of that. When you've got aides, dozens of them, at your beck and call, keeping your diary. So if there was diarised meetings and briefings, let's have your diary in the court. But it never was. Court accepted it. So Prince Henry Charles Albert David, KCVO. You know he lost all his military titles. Well, he's the Knight Commander of the Victorian Order, which is normally given by the monarch to family and other people for good works for the monarch. So he keeps that. He'll always have that. So you know that he's got a big star on his chest. He did it at the Queen's funeral. That's his Knight Commander of the Victorian Order. He's allowed to wear that in perpetuity. And the other little medals were his military medals. I've only just worked out and done my research why Archie and Lily Diana are Mountbatten Windsors and Meghan isn't. She's using a maiden name. And Henry, or Harry, doesn't have to use a second name. He's an HRH. If you're an HRH, you don't have to use a second name, a family name. If you're not an HRH, then you can use a family name, whether it be Wales or Mountbatten Windsor. So the kids are called Mountbatten Windsor. But then Meghan Markle is in some kind of middle ground where she hasn't got a second name, but she has got a second name. So she's using Markle because her married name technically should be Mountbatten Windsor, not Wales, but Mountbatten Windsor, because the kids are called that. Notice how I said the kids, not her kids. So, let's have a look at something else. Yeah, Doria's in there. Episode 1, Doria, right at the end. She's in there. 30 seconds. Bless her. Doesn't really give a lot away, does Doria? So how long did she serve inside for fraud? Was it 5 years? So how did she get into the UK for the wedding? Obviously. I wouldn't have been allowed if I'd done five and a bit years in Chokey, especially for fraud. So episode 2. So episode 1, you've got Henry, doing his thing to the camera, doing his pieces to the camera. And then episode 2, we go straight into, it's all about Meghan. It's all about Rachel Meghan Markle. She was giving you the background to her childhood. She was the nerd. She remembers writing that letter to, was it Procter & Gamble or some company that she changed the commercial that changed the world, did Meghan? Campaigning at 11-year-old. But didn't her dad come out and say, I never sent the letter? So she believes one thing to be a reality and her dad believes something else. And then hardly the episode starts and she brings race into it again. It was such an issue. I quote, it was such an issue when I went to the UK. No, it wasn't. No, it was not. We welcomed Rachel Meghan Markle with open arms in this country. There was no race until she said it was. And that's why the great Brits are recoiling and responding to her, because we don't like it. We gave her nothing but love and millions of pounds, which is worth more than the dollar. She said she was a daddy's girl all of her life. I was with him all the time. Yeah, because your mother was inside. I loved being on set, married with children. She used to go there all the time, but said she was lonely, really. And then she kind of makes us out to be a bit repressed. That's the word I'm looking for. Meghan's making out that we English are repressed. She said, oh, I'm a hugger. I love hugging. And it might be jarring for a few Brits. Sorry, I'm consulting my notes as we go along. It's jarring for a few Brits. She went to hug Catherine, seemingly, or the royal family. I'm a hugger, so I had to hug everyone, and it's a bit jarring for the Brits. No, it's not. I think you'll find we love a hug as well. It's the same narrative. It's the same old narrative. It's not even their take on the old narrative, with the narrative actually being wrong, and here's the truth. So she gives this display of a curtsy to the Queen. Just take a look at Harry sitting next to her. He's got a face of thunder. So she goes, oh, I curtsied and I bowed and scraped to the Queen, and I'm American, so it feels a bit odd. And she goes into detail, but just keep an eye on Harry's physog. I'm telling you, they had a row after that. After they filmed that, they definitely went home and had a row. He was not happy with her at all. And let me say something else to young Harry, because I've got a few years on him, which means I've got a bit more life experience on him. I've got a generation ahead of him. And he said, oh, I'm not sure my family could handle an American actress coming into the family. Henry, mate, it's not the first time. I remember Coo Stark having a dance with your Uncle Andrew. And he was having a dance with Coo Stark, an American actress, before and after the Falklands War. So, Rachel Meghan Markle is not the first American actress to go into that family. Coo Stark was dating Andrew for nearly 2 years. And the Queen quite liked her. Thought she was quite bright and entertaining. That was before Fergie. And then when Fergie had her toe sucked, I bet they wanted Coo Stark back. PDQ. So no, Rachel's not even the first American actress in the royal family. She also said quite pointedly in their engagement interview that the royal family, the family, was so welcoming. So what went wrong? And who went wrong? Come on, cough. Because there's contradicting sides of the story. Somebody made somebody cry and we can't get to the bottom of that. Somebody knows the truth. But we've seen your death stare at children when you were getting married. That was the real marriage, not the one that you said you had a couple of days before that nobody was invited to. The 60-odd million pound wedding that the taxpayer funded. You're wrongin'. So I think the deal with the royal family is we, that's the taxpayers, we pay, you pose. And royalty is a cutthroat business, according to Meghan. Then, this is the wow. And I'll try and keep this really tight. This is the wow. Somebody called Ashley appears. Ashley Markle. Samantha Markle's daughter. And this Ashley says, yeah, we started to get in touch and it was wonderful. We went on holiday together. That's her and Meghan. Went on holiday together. It was kind of like there was a sister element. There was definitely something maternal. I mean, don't you get what she's saying? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Not sure I can say this on YouTube, but let's wait for Samantha Markle's court case. Oi, oi, oi! Have you read Tom Bower's book? Reading between the lines, there's allegations that Meghan had a child years ago. And then Ashley comes out and goes, oh yeah, there was something maternal about my relationship with Meghan. Because the allegations are that Samantha Markle adopted the child. That's why I'm saying, let's wait for Samantha Markle's court case. Maybe that's why they've got to put the Netflix documentary out now, and that's why the book's got to come early in January. It's got to happen before Samantha Markle's court case happens. Because I think that might squash everything if there is any truth to come out. I'm just saying it could be supposition, rumour, it could be lies. But they're doing the rounds. I just don't know what the source is. Unless, of course, it's the family. The other thing that comes out is Harry talks about going to war, going to Afghanistan and serving 2 tours. And he says, I've had experiences that other members of my family wouldn't have. What? Playing PlayStation on base in Afghanistan? I think you'll find your Uncle Andrew actually went to war. He didn't do a tour. He was in the Falklands War. Don't you know that's how he can't sweat? He was a helicopter pilot in a war at the Falklands. So I think your Uncle Andrew might just supersede any experience that you've got of a tour of duty in Afghanistan, even if you had 2 tours. He was right at the pointy end in a Falklands War, thousands of miles away. Couldn't probably get any further away on planet Earth from Blighty. I'm sure you can. And the other thing Rachel Meghan Markle's agent. I'll quickly wrap this up. But Rachel Meghan Markle's agent actually says, I didn't know she was biracial. Her agent, sending her out for acting jobs, says, I quote, I didn't know she was biracial. He thought she was white. Didn't know she was biracial. That's her agent. And then somebody says, oh, she's a businesswoman, a producer. She's highly intelligent, speaking at UN Women 2015. She's a feminist. And Harry says they're both fed through the service of others. Well, weren't you in the perfect position to do that in the royal family? Be in service of both your country and your people? I'm not going to call these people liars because I think that's being disingenuous. But there's just not whole truths here. If you're not happy with the tabloid press or the people or the monarchy or the empire or the Commonwealth, they actually have a go at the Commonwealth. And these were on behalf of the monarch doing the head of the Commonwealth jobs. I mean, and they're calling it racist. Look, have a little integrity. The best thing to do, if I could give advice to anyone on planet Earth that might be living in America, that might be tied to this country, look, just make the break clean. Just give everything back. Don't be the douches of Sussex. Give everything back. You don't want it. You're pointing fingers at this country and calling it all the worst names under the sun when the truth is actually not there. Give it all back. Just put it in abeyance. Enough is enough. You've had enough bandwagons to jump on. And the two things that I'm taking away mostly from the first 3 episodes, I don't think there's any bombs in there. I don't think there's anything that the royal family need to be worried about. I think it'll raise a few eyebrows because there's some subtleties in there. He's had a dig at William. He's had a dig at Catherine. Uncalled for, no class. None. But when they're citing racism in this country, they bring to the fore the 1993 case of the murder of Stephen Lawrence and show you the reportage of the 5 white guys that were allegedly involved. And they use that as an evidence of racism in this country. But what they don't evidence is the murder of PC Keith Blakelock, a white PC. They don't evidence the slaying of PC Yvonne Fletcher. You see? It's an agenda. An agenda. And I think it stinks. Let's have an open and honest conversation around race in this country. An open and honest debate. There can't be sides. There needs to be oneness. We have to understand that there are black guys knifing black guys to death in London. Gang crime. Why isn't that being brought up in the conversation, the race conversation? If these people were all that, they would be asking and searching and trying to bring about an honest conversation where we could all live as one. Not by your skin tone. But playing the race card? That's low. Really low. And also, if you want to tell us that there were pap chasers and there was harassment from the paparazzi, everybody's got one of these. Let's have the shots. Show us. Show us the pap chasers. Show us the paparazzi shots of you in situ. Show us the harassing paparazzi for both of you. Show us. Because in today's society, there's always corroboration, and it's normally through phones. Diana, Catherine, Fergie, Camilla. Not Meg. No. Due diligence. And Netflix should have done that. Don't think they have. I'm saving some of my more pointed questions for next Thursday, because there are even more pointed questions. I just think it's really sad that they've used the race card. It's the same old, tired old narrative. Blaming racists, racist press, racist royal family, racist people of a racist island. I am a subject of the Crown. The Crown is not racist. It's inclusive. So is this country. We're a mongrel race. We're a mongrel society. We have many influences and inputs, from the Vikings to the Germans, to the Dutch, to the Europeans, to the French. We've had many inputs from many communities and societies. Lady Susan Hussey is quoted in Tom Bower's book, Revenge, as saying, the marriage won't last. Do you think that's why she was baited? By someone who's connected to Rachel Meghan Markle? Liars will lie, haters will hate. Netflix need a return on their money. The publishers need a return on their money. It's all about the Benjamins. Are they trying to squeeze it in before Samantha Markle's court case blows them out of the water? Or are they trying to get things in because they know, now that there's a Conservative MP, wanting the laws changed so that they can have their titles taken away? They're not even going to allow King Charles to make the decision. The MPs, the members of Parliament, the House of Commons, is now up in arms for the attacks on this land, our people, and our monarchy. We are subjects of the Crown. You can't call Britain racist, tabloids racist, and the royal family racist just because you feel you can. Do you think the directors left the mistakes in to the episodes and the promos so that they would get found out? Controversy sells, but in this case, you can't confuse you with facts because your mind's made up. There are mistakes, and the newspapers will concentrate on the lies. This is hours after this has been aired, and the newspapers are going to have a feeding frenzy for the next few days. We've now got MPs baying for their blood. And sadly, H is a very broken man, a deeply broken man. I mean, who would want to put a young man, 12 years old, through what he went through, walking behind his mum's coffin? No, and that's why this nation loves him. Always has done. Because we've seen our own fragility, our own mistakes in him. He's just done what we would have done in many situations. But now, with that woman, as I've said to you before, don't expect anything from a pig than a grunt. My name's Adrian Allen. Go and watch the episodes. There's 3 of them. Another 3 next Thursday. Go and watch them and make your own mind up. Jaw-dropping. Not major bombs. They've probably saved those for the second 3. But bombs enough. Calling this country, this people, our monarchy, all racist. No. Have they never read the book White Cargo? I have. Maybe we'll discuss it. Don't forget to ding the bell. More videos coming. And I'll see you in the next video.